morning and welcome to the chaos. I don't look great and the sun is coming through my window, so the lighting's a bit off. Ow. Because I tried recording in good light last night and the camera crapped out halfway through the video, so yeah, here we go again. Oh god, it's freezing again. That's gonna piss me off. Right, so this week, I don't know when the last blog went up. We had Vampire Game Saturday, I think. I could be wrong. We may have skipped Saturday. I don't remember. I think we were off Saturday. Whatever. So we got through the week, most of the week. Not a lot of big issues, just, paperwork did not go the way it should have because I was still battling a headache and a cold, the sinus infection, whatever, which has primarily cleared up now. It actually cleared up in the last couple of days, not having stuff come out of my ears anymore. I can hear primarily just fine. And I apologize for the noise in the background. My dogs are having a stroke because there are two other animals outside that I've never interacted with before, to my knowledge. They just wandered off as soon as a person showed up, but dogs. Yeah, we got through most of the week without a lot of problems, in general. Kid 2 calmed down a little bit, and we realized, we're just gonna have to, God, that hair looks bad. We're gonna have to find coping mechanisms for him for when there's an increase in medication, because that's, to the best of our knowledge, what triggered some of the issues the last couple of weeks. And he's autistic, okay? Even if he understands the change in his medication, and right now he really doesn't. But even if he understood that, he's going to have some issues. So there's things like, early on in the diagnosis, we got him things like a compression vest, weighted blanket, sensory things to help with the issues, and he doesn't need them most of the time. He really doesn't. But with the increase in medications, there are things that he probably does need for a little while when they increase his medications, because he's on a steroid. And that's done by weight, so it's going to increase over time. And different medications will affect him differently, and yeah, it's something we just have to work with. But they had their doctor's appointments. They were e-visits, because it was just a check-in with the cardiologist. They're increasing some of those medications for... No, they're not. She's switching them. My bad. Increasing or switching medications for each of the boys. It's just a thing. They're going to do MRIs on each of the kids, and she just called it a harness. I know there's more words to it, but it's a sticker they stick on the kid to track heart palpitations and crap like that over the course of like 24 to 48 hours. The oldest has done both of these things before. The other two have not. But learned what they're doing is they get a better idea of how the child's heart is functioning if they don't do the EKG. Like, they're still going to do those once in a while, but rather than the EKG, just to get a baseline idea with the kids, because a lot of the times, especially with like kid 2, they don't sit still long enough for an EKG. They're children. But if they use the harness and an MRI, they get video of the heart with the MRI, and they can line it up with the data they got from the harness, and they've got a much better look at how the overall heart is functioning. I'm sure for a lot of things that's not adequate, but they're children, and they're just tracking the heart's function. So there's different considerations there. among other things, they're not tracking an existing heart condition. They're keeping a track on the function of the heart as the muscles degrade. They do this with all of their major organs and muscle groups. It's just keeping track and adjusting things in their life as the muscles degrade. Oldest is getting around the house in that wheelchair much better. He has difficulty getting the chair into a couple of rooms, but we've made some adjustments, but mostly he's gotten more practice and is much better at getting into my office or Dee's office to hang out with us while he's in a wheelchair. He's gotten stuck in a hallway a couple of times. But it's usually a mom or dad, can you please come scoot me 2 inches kind of thing. His aim. It's a hallway. There's a reason when we moved when I was a teenager, there were no hallways, okay? A couple of reasons. Sorry about the interruption. One of my children got into some serious trouble in Daddy's office. Right, so the medical care is not terrible. They had that appointment. We know what we're doing with the heart. Overall, it's going pretty well, health-wise. Right, then the snow, that was the day the ice came down. Or day before. I don't remember which day the appointments were on. I know what it was called. Wednesday, freezing rain hit, and my understanding is this storm has come down literally from the north. You know who you are. Come get your effing weather. Anyway, the ice came down the day I was supposed to go to the grocery store. I was supposed to film the Costco run the next morning. Stuffed my kids in the car. I was going to take them to McDonald's and then go to Costco because we were out of a lot of stuff, including dog food, cat food. And I mean out. Stuffed them in the car. Got out of the driveway because it took almost 45 minutes to get enough sight in the car because I didn't know at the time the fans were frozen, so the defroster wasn't working. And we got out of the driveway. I got halfway around the block before I went, no, this is not safe. I can drive on ice. That's fine. I don't trust the other people in the state to drive on ice for some pretty obvious reasons. And I was having trouble getting... People park along the side of the road here. I was having trouble safely getting out of the driveway or out of the neighborhood without hitting other people's cars. I didn't hit anyone's car. I was driving smack in the middle of the road. That ain't safe. So I got halfway around the block and went, no, forget this, and went back home. Well, out of habit, I went to get in the driveway. And where the car had been sitting in the driveway was clear because it had been sitting there when the ice came down. Well, there was ice about 3 feet in front of said dry spot. And I hit that, and there was ice in the road, and it knocked me back. But not straight back. It was back at an angle, so the tire was stuck on the curb. And the back tire was spinning because ice. I couldn't get it out. I tried several times before I gave up and went inside to get my husband's help. Well, with this new van, Dee can take 2 steps and get out. Dee's taller than I am. I have to slide my ass out to hit the running board and then step down. Most of the time, I don't bother to hit the running board because I have to slide my ass out anyway. I just drop and hit the street. I did not think. I dropped and hit the street. My feet shot out from under me. And I landed, thank God, being a klutz for most of my life has taught me how to fall safely. My arm went straight up, and I dropped on that side hard. Um, and yeah, I was hurting, but I was alive and I could walk. Got up, went inside, asked for help, got really peeved because when he came out to help, I told him this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. I need to get in the driveway so we can go inside. He didn't. He was trying to salvage the morning, and did not listen to this isn't working. I had to reiterate it twice, which I wound up crying at that point, and it wasn't his fault. I was hurting. I was tired. I was frustrated. I hadn't had anything to eat yet. I was hurting. The crying wasn't him. It was just that last frustration. And when he realized, no, this car's not moving, he said, okay, my computer hates me. When he realized, no, this car's not moving, he said, let's get the kids out, let's get inside, there's Frosted Flakes in there. Explained to the kids we weren't going to make it to Costco right now. Maybe later, we'll see what happens. And we spent almost an hour trying to get that car loose. Like, we salted by the tire, we put dirt down there, we tried everything. Boiling water, whole bit. Nothing worked. So we left it for a couple of hours. Like, we checked once in a while to see if we could move the damn thing, but we left it for several hours before we could finally get it loose. Eventually, Dee got it loose, and parked it on the curb. We did not put it back in the driveway until we knew we could get in the driveway, which was yesterday. And he sent me later to go to Costco and get what we needed and McDonald's for dinner. Now, we didn't get this thing loose until after lunchtime. And went to Costco, did not die, didn't fall again even. My core and every muscle that was used to maintain my balance is so mad at me because that was a lot of ice everywhere. All ice. Oh my God. So I get to Costco, I get the basics, okay, what we need, which is not a small order for us, and that's just that. Get it to the car, get it loaded in the car, and go to McDonald's, pick up McDonald's, go home. Parked on the curb, got out of the car. I thought this time, okay, this was not the same incident, but the second I let go of my car handle, I hadn't moved. The second, there's birds out there, second I let go of my car handle, my feet shot forward. Now, this fall's the one that scared Dee at the time, because this is the fall that basically crippled him for 2 months and messed up his back permanently, because I went flat on my back. My theory is I'm more top heavy than he is, because my back, my lower back and my hip is not what hit the ground first. It was my back behind my shoulder blades, and I was winded. There was no air. I felt like I was going to die for a minute there, but I knew what had happened. And just laid there until I knew I could get back up, and was contemplating getting my phone and calling Dee to get my inhaler when the air finally came back. And I managed to get up, get the McDonald's into the house, and Dee could see, apparently I was moving really bad, because he could see that I had fallen again as soon as he opened the door. I went inside and I laid there, or not laid there, sat down for a couple hours and just stayed. There was no moving. And because like the stuff that we weren't worried that something was going to thaw out and go bad in the fridge in the middle of that nightmare, or in the car in the middle of that nightmare, okay? And after we ate, eventually, after a few hours, Dee went out and helped me get stuff unloaded, but I fell again. This time it wasn't a bad fall. This time there was that big dry patch in the driveway, and I tried to step into it and couldn't step quite far enough, and went down, but all I did was really scrape up my forearms and one knee, because my foot shot into the dry patch. I didn't go down that hard. It just was the last straw for me and Dee. And Dee's like, okay, no. He moved the car so there was a straight shot and he could just slide the baskets of food to me. And then I shoved them up to the porch, got them in the house. Because what had happened is we had to wait until the 1 hour that day. I am not joking, it was 1 hour that we got above freezing to get the car loose. By the time I got back from Costco, it had frozen again. So now the ice was worse in a lot of the yard. And there's no traction on my boots. I didn't know that when I bought them. And I bought them years ago. These ice storms weren't a thing. That this is not, it's becoming the new normal, apparently, but this was not normal in Texas a few years ago. This was a freak storm, the first one, and it's happened every year. This is the third year we've had a bad one, third or fourth year, and we just have to adapt. He wasn't slipping as bad because his shoes have better traction, and he's heavier. So when he walked through the yard, the ice would crunch underneath him when it wouldn't crunch underneath me. So we did eventually get the food in. Nobody died. I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain, but I could still move. I got that stuff put away, and I didn't leave the house again that day because, oh God, no. The kids were concerned. I apparently really looked like I was in pain because the kids were concerned. Dee was concerned. Dee was afraid I'd permanently hurt myself. He's still not convinced I haven't, but he's sometimes paranoid, sometimes wrong, sometimes not. And I'm not exactly a great judge of my own health. So I rested that day. Woke up the next day in amazing amounts of pain. Everything hurt. Everything. But stuff was starting to thaw. We had gotten enough food to get through 3 or 4 days just in case it didn't thaw until Saturday. And Thursday I got a text from FedEx telling me that they had just picked up the Exondus in California. It wasn't going to be here till today. It's still not here. It's going to be here today at some point, Saturday. And so yeah, we had to cancel infusions Friday because I'm like, no, if FedEx tells me it's not going to be here till Saturday, it is not going to be here till Saturday. And the last big ice storm, we had a similar problem. The meds were just a couple days late. Thinking now. Oh yeah, I filled the bird feeders. The birds are all kinds of happy right now. They had their appointment Thursday, I want to say. And then Thursday evening, by Thursday evening, it had, the streets had thawed. The yards, no. A lot of parking lots, no. But the streets had thawed. So I told the boys, okay, this means we can probably go tomorrow if the sidewalk dries up a little better. And that was the day, like everything else hurt, but the infection had finally backed off. So I went out. The house was backed up a bit. There was a slight backup from the infection, but also because of the ice, it was not doing pretty because I'd hurt myself so bad. So I went out to Target on my own for a quick run to grab a few things we needed to get the house caught up a bit, including a couple cans of salt to salt the drive so I could get the trash cans to the road because we missed last week. We didn't get them out last week. And I didn't care at the time because I had too much going on and I was in pain. Well, I got the cans out yesterday, but I had to put 2 cans of salt onto the icy path that was between the trash cans and the curb to do that safely because I was not going to fall again. Absolutely not. Dee was adamant I was going to the hospital if I felt like that again. So I didn't. Got home, did some work, and promised the boys we'd go out to Costco the next day, because if the roads were clear now and the driveway was clear, we should be good to go out. Because, like, the Target parking lot wasn't that bad anymore. And I knew the Costco parking lot wasn't going to be that difficult. Sorry, I'm still trying to breathe. I haven't taken appropriate medication for allergies yet today, and they are acting up. But I took them to Costco the next day. That will never happen again. Took all 4 of them by myself. Normally, this isn't a problem. Any other store, this is not a problem. Target, Kroger, we're good. Apparently, Costco's an exception. 2 of them never turned their listeners on. And there's a fly in my office. And that teed me off in ways we are not going to get into. I was irritable. I was in pain. But I was okay. They weren't listening. By halfway through the store, no one was listening. And that is where my limit was. But we got most of what we needed. Got to the end of the store, and there were fruit trees, citrus trees, for $30 a pop. We looked at this tree that I got an orange tree for Dee. And we looked that thing up, and that's what the yelling I had to go deal with a minute ago while I was recording was because Kid 2 had started digging in the tree. Sapling. But I grabbed one of those, and I said, okay, Kid 1, do you want to hold this? Because he was in his wheelchair. It's Costco. It's a giant warehouse. I knew there was not going to be him walking through this thing. So he took his wheelchair in there. Eyes lit up, and I set the bottom of the thing on his foot plates, and he held the tree. But in the process of setting a pot this big, a plastic, on his foot plates, my back seized. So this is when not listening to me started to really tee me off. We get up to the front, we get checked out, and head to the car and the parking lot. I ran completely out of patience in the parking lot because no one was listening, and I was not nice about pointing out that gets people killed. Not listening to me in a parking lot where there's ice and that many other vehicles will get people killed. I was so pissed. And the oldest was picking up on that and wasn't listening. Still wasn't listening. And was trying to tell his brothers they did it. I was mean about that explanation next. And he got it this time. He understood this time. But I had to be nasty about it for him to figure it out. They would not listen. And the listeners stayed off for the rest of the day. I was so pissed. So pissed. And I was hurting. And I made sure to explain to them, you not listening is not what happened to my back. The back was because I fell 3 times the day before, and that was not their fault. I made sure I explained that to them. But the not listening was a problem. I will never... Maybe when they're adults, but I am not taking them into Costco by myself, all 4 of them, again, for quite some time, if ever. That was a disaster. But we got what we needed. We got the Costco haul. I'm pretty sure I got it filmed. I got it sort of filmed. It's not going to be a big, highly detailed video, but I filmed the haul that came in. I will get that edited this week. And there should be a Kroger haul, or there'll be a second haul of some kind, like Kroger or Costco, but we're still getting used to what we go through with Costco, because it's not as much as I think we go through now that we're shopping at Costco. That is a lot of birds. You little jerkwad! There's a chickadee out there chunking the corn bits out of the bird feeder to get to the sunflower seeds. All the squirrels are going to be happy. Yeah, got that taken care of. Got most of that put away, and my back was done. By late evening, I took a soak and I took painkiller just to get the laundry machines and the dishwasher running, and my bed sheets changed because there was a mystery puddle in my bed. No idea. And that was it. As soon as I got that stuff done, I was down. My back was peeved. I was done. On the whole, I don't think I'm permanently injured. My shoulder is cranky, but still functional. My upper arms and thighs and core hate me. But I didn't fall on any of those. I know what's wrong with that. That is sore. Super sore. The only concern is my back, and it's not actually my back. It is my back behind that hip that I landed on. Is prone to seizing for no good reason. So today I'm doing pretty much nothing of import. I am messing around with my computer, and that's about it. Just because the back has got to rest. It is the hip, and that's concerning. I'm hoping what happened is that's the hip on the good side. That's not the side where I have sprained various joints in my leg over and over again. That's just the hip that's used to compensating for those sprains. So I think what happened is it's like I'm not used to being injured and panicking. I hope. God, I hope. But yeah, that's how most of the week is gone. The storm sucked. But last night, because I didn't want to go out doing shit today, yesterday after I dealt with Costco, Dee let me go get my nails done for the first time since lockdown. And I mean that a week before our lockdown started in 2020 was the last time I got my nails done. Because by the time lockdown lifted, we were having financial issues. So I couldn't afford to do it. And now I actually can. So where my spending money went was these. But I will take it. Because this is a non-necessary, okay? It really is. It is a frivolous, and it's not cheap, but it is a frivolous thing. It's not just for me being pretty, though. I like the pretty, don't get me wrong. But when my nails are like this, there's a anxiety level that's not there, because now I am not prone to hangnails, scratching myself, ripping off a nail, just in my regular daily activities. I'm rough on everything, myself, all of it. I'm pretty sure several people have figured that out by now. But my nails don't get taken care of as well as they could, and even doing my nails myself, I'm still prone to hangnails. I'm still prone to snapping the nails sometimes. And with these, that's not a problem. Snapping the nails, tearing the nails, accidentally cutting myself, or catching my nails on something because they broke or tore or something or cracked. It's not a thing with the acrylics on. So I really appreciate these. I also can't scratch myself very thoroughly. Like I can... Itchy scalp. Okay, when I get out of the shower, the back of my scalp, the scalp at the back, near my neck, itches like Hades because it does not dry very fast. Like, when I don't dry my hair before bed, if I shower before bed and don't dry that part of my hair, it will still be wet in the morning. So it just itches sometimes. That's where moisture gets trapped. And I can itch my scalp all I want with these acrylics on and will not scratch myself. I will not damage my skin itching with these nails on. They're too blunt. They won't do it. So there's a lot of concerns there that just aren't there with the nails done. Sorry. Also, snagging on yarn, snagging on fabric, not a thing with these. Not unless I have gone more than a month between fills. 6 weeks is actually my limit. 6 weeks is where I have to go in for a fill because they're starting to try and pry off. And I like my hand. That hurts having one of these pull off. Hurts so bad. I've done it a few times. Doesn't hurt quite as bad as having a dipped nail snap, though. I will never do the dip again. That is far too brittle for me. But, yeah, I went and got my nails done, and that's a huge bonus. And things are improving financially, physically. Project-wise, I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling so bad. I have fabric picked out. I am starting in on the heart pillows for the couch. That stuffing is supposed to be here Monday. After that, I start in on... What costume was I working on? Oh no, the thing for D. The dress for D. And unfortunately, the kid's birthday present, I can't sew that yet. That fabric is not going to be here till after his birthday. So I have ordered a placeholder present for him. And, yeah, because I still want to get him something for his birthday, but that fabric's not going to be here in time. And it is the 4th now, so... I have just over a week. I have a week to finish, to get his birthday stuff done. And yeah, that's where we're at. I am going to get around to the canning videos. After this storm, we have come to realize there's some things we need to change. And it's, we did this not last time too. Last time we bought a generator as soon as we could, just to have a backup plan for basic heat, just to get a room warm enough safely to not be an issue. Ow, sorry. And yeah, last time we did that, Small Bacon sent us a couple of lanterns that we pulled out last time. There was a power out, and we were only out for 24 hours last time. Something along the line, we're on the don't shut off list now because of the kids' medication. But sometimes that's not going to help. We had a power out early last year, whatever. There was a power out for about 18 hours, I want to say. Look, sometimes the power's going to go out, and it doesn't matter if we're on the don't shut off list. Something broke in the lines with that freeze. Like, I think what happened, if I remember properly, is water had gotten down into a transformer and expanded when it froze. And that's what took it. Wasn't just us. Most of the neighborhood was out. That was not something they could control. And they got it fixed as fast as they could, but when it's ice, they need to live, okay? It took 18 hours to get our power back on. And that's just a thing sometimes. That's why we bought the generator. It's gonna happen. That's why we have those lanterns. It's gonna happen. And we have to have a backup plan in place. I actually had to go buy kerosene because Bacon sent kerosene with those lanterns, and I have no idea what the hell happened to it. We spent 4 hours looking for that crap. And I went to Lowe's and bought more kerosene. It's like, I don't know what happened. But that's what we did last year, and this year we have decided, I need real boots. I need real good winter boots. That's it. The traction on the bottom of the boots that I've got works great in rain. It does not work great in ice. There's the traction's not adequate, and we need a chest freezer, because if I had had canned goods, because we had a meal of canned goods down there, but if I had had more canned goods and frozen stuff in the freezer, I wouldn't have had to go anywhere. I just wouldn't. So we are going to make some changes there. That bird is having a blast with those sunflower seeds. To, adjust for winter. We're also going to get some, I didn't know frost fabric was a thing. I know Mom used, now when I saw it, I recognized it. Mom used it for her plants over the years. I thought it was just plastic wrap. I mean, it's basically what it is plastic wrap for plants, trees. But we're going to get some of that to protect the plants next time, because mulch itself does not protect the leaves. And the two plants out front, they come back every year. Okay, they don't. The pomegranate tree goes bald long before the freeze, usually. It's just, its season is done. My Mexican sage bush out there, it dies back and comes back every flipping year. It's not a problem. It's the hardiest plant I've ever bought, I swear. Same with my rose bush. It doesn't even die back. The rose bush just goes, okay, I'm cold now. It was a living icicle for 2 days, and it came back just fine. It thawed out, and it's good. But his olive tree loses all its leaves in a freeze. And that poor little thing is trying so hard to survive, I swear. That tree showed up snapped in half. We planted it. It got mowed down. And we're like, oh God, it's dead. Because it had frozen too. It froze, its leaves fell off, it got mowed down. We've got a tomato cage around it now, because after that last mowing, it sent up 4 shoots. And we mulched that puppy. We have been trying so hard to protect it, because it is fighting so hard. It may not survive, but God, is it trying. And I'm like, the frost fabric. We have to make adjustments for the cold being a thing now. It just is. And yeah, I think that's basically where we're at. We are working on, we're going to decorate a little bit for Valentine's Day. I have a couple of walls clean in that room, and then I might actually be able to film out there. Hey, you're going to have to ignore the disaster that is our carpeting. It can't be saved. We have to replace it. But I think that's about it. Stream, I got hype trained so hard, and it scared the crap out of me, because I'm not used to being able to hear through both ears right now. I'm not used to it anymore. And boy, did that get loud. There's actually 2 reasons I'm not used to being able to hear through both ears when I'm streaming. There was some gunk or something on one of my earbuds, probably stuff that came out of my ear. But that gunk had been on that earbud for longer than I had the ear infection, for several months. And I was like, okay, maybe there's just something wrong with that ear. No, it was the earbud. There was just some gunk stuck on it, and I got it off. And all of a sudden I can hear through that ear. And that's not even the one that was infected. So yeah, it was loud. And wowzer. But it did not hit level 3. It did not hit level 3. Or level 5. It did not hit level 5. You gotta hit level 5 for Five Nights at Freddy's, folks. And I started playing Garden Paws with Ren. Rubber Ducky Mommy. Mom, whatever. On Thursdays. It's not a stream thing. We just play offline, but it's, a fun thing that I'm doing with her. I'm going to work on getting some new games when I get paid again. I'm not getting a paycheck this month. Last month, I just did not get that many bits, which is fine. I am not complaining. Do not take it that way at all. I had gotten paid plenty. I invested some of that in some games last month. I'm just not getting a paycheck this month, and that's fine. This is a side gig. It's a side gig for a reason. This is also why I'm kicking up on YouTube and stuff, just because we learned this last year. We need several veins of income coming in, because one of us being out of commission is just going to be a thing from time to time. That's it. So, I'm working on the YouTube. That is I'm getting there. But yeah, that's about it. That's what I got today. Thank you for listening to the ramble bit, because God was it rambly, and yeah, enjoy the chaos. You can stop recording now.